So, I've wanted a consistent money making method for so long at this point. And yes, while AH flipping can be good, it isn't consistent. That made me think, why don't I just start mining? Gemstone mining probably is one of the most consistently profitable things to do in the game. This doesn't help. Especially when somewhat decent gemstone mining drills like this require what I'm working towards. And the exact same goes for this too. To be honest, since then I've not really found anything that's consistent that I've found actually enjoyable enough to grind. And then I thought, well, sorrows are pretty expensive, and I've never actually attempted to grind ghosts, despite the Dwarven Mines releasing like a millennium ago. So considering I'm not yet Heart of the Mountain 6, today I'm going to start my ghost grinding journey. I'm going to share the whole process with you, the successes and the inevitable failures. Now, I'm not saying this is the best way to grind ghosts, and, you know, I'm pretty new to this. This is literally the first time I've ever really done it. I have virtually no knowledge of what I'm supposed to be doing. Most of my knowledge is from a few tutorials that I've watched in the past few hours, and about half an hour discussion in a voice call. Okay, so cut me a little bit slack. So to start off with, we need a weapon to use. And I have already bought it, and I already tried it out, if I'm being honest. Well, the weapon we're going to be using is this giant sword right here, withered, recombobulated. Fuming potato. It's got both gemstone slots unlocked. Soul Eater 5. We've got, what have we got? We've got Cubism 5. I've not got 6. Maybe I should have looked to actually try and buy one with Cubism 6 on it when I bought it, but it's not the end of the world. And at the same time, I'm not going to pay the best part of 80 million to put it on. So we can live without it for now. It's not the craziest. It's not really got tier 7s on it, but it does the job for now. And for those of you who have completely left in the dark, ghosts are these invisible creepers in the Dwarven Mines. They have 1 million HP and they do a fair bit of damage. They drop items such as Volta, Plasma, and what we're really here for is the Sorrows. Now, the reason these Sorrows are so expensive is because they're used to craft Sorrow Armor, which means that majority of your profit from farming ghosts is through the Sorrows. Not to mention they also give quite a lot of combat XP, so they're also great for leveling pets and just for getting combat XP in general. Anyway, like I mentioned, this is the weapon that we're going to be using for now. Now, besides the weapon, of course, you also need armor. If you didn't wear armor, then you would be a little bit silly. And the armor set that I've settled on is this one right here. So we've got these Necron boots. We've got Crimson leggings and chest plate. Now, you basically don't need anything on this other than growth and protection. Anything else is an added extra. Ancient, obviously, you're trying to do damage. And then we're going for a Tarantula helmet. Now, of course, if I use the full Necron set with Tarantula helmet, my one-hit damage would be higher. But the Crimson set has a hidden ability whereby sometimes it hits twice. Now, of course, if I upgraded these Crimson pieces, it would work way better. But at this moment in time, we're not really in a position to do that, but it's something that I'll plan on doing in the future. And then the pet that we're going to be using is this Mithril Golem. Now, you might be thinking, well, why are you just using a combat pet? Obviously, that's going to do more damage, surely. And that would be true, but not while on a mining island. As you can see, Danger Reverse, increase your combat stats by 20% on mining islands. So, Mithril Golem, for me at the moment, is definitely the best one to use. I've even tested out a Golden Dragon, and with my current bank and gold collection, this is better. It also gives plus 50 true defense, which is nice, and we've got a Lucky Clover on there for Magic Find too. Magic Find is an issue, we'll get onto that later. Now at the moment we have our Power Stone on Hurtful, and I've got our tuning set to bonus attack speed, because it is lacking a little bit. Which means that at the moment, if we hold our Giant Sword, we've got everything equipped, and we look at our stats, we currently have 922 strength and 1027 crit damage. So they're relatively similar. Our attack speed is not perfect, but we'll have to make do with it for now. But how does it perform, and how effectively can you actually grind ghosts in this gear? I'm glad you asked. Now at the moment, this is the current situation, okay? As you can see, we actually one hit there, but it isn't consistent. We also one hit again there. See, now we don't one hit, okay? So on average, I'd say we deal around about 750k damage on the first hit. That seems to be relatively consistent if we can try and demonstrate. Yeah, there we go, 754k. So the one hit alone really isn't enough to kill on its own. But as you can see, okay, when we do get a one hit, it's the Crimson ability that, like, double damage that it does, like, spontaneously. That's what gets us over the line. So we can sometimes one hit them, although if they're up against the wall, it never works. So, a little bit inconsistent. But I'd say probably 80% of the time, if the ghosts aren't up against the wall, we can one hit them quite consistently. Which is really quite nice. But now we have an issue. We got quite lucky then, and we got a Sorrow. But as you can see, our magic find is 119. When we're against Sorrows, it will be slightly higher because I've done a little bit of the bestiary. Let's say we have 130 magic find. Now, I asked my guild earlier what would be the ideal amount of magic find to grind sorrows, and they said about 400. Okay, so it's blatantly obvious that I'm not going to get anywhere near 400, but we do need to get that up a little bit, so we can at least make some more coins. You might be thinking, well, you could get a black cat pet, but if I get a black cat pet, then that's going to quite detrimentally impact us, considering, well, this mithril golem is probably helping us survive quite a lot, and we're also going to lose a lot of damage, to the point where we might not even be able to one-hit the ghosts, which would be bad. So we can't really change the pet. In terms of armor, we can't really change it either. If we change out our Necron boots for Sorrow boots, for instance, yes, we're going to gain a bit of magic find, but we're going to lose a lot of damage at the same time. Same goes for the Tarantula helmet. So I'd say at the moment in time, we can't really change our weapon. The weapon's not going to make much difference anyway, unless we get a Daedalus axe. Not going to cut it though. The armor's got to stay, and the pet's got to stay. Of course, we have a god put on, which is why our magic find is so high. Now, at the moment, most of our talismans and accessories are enriched to either crit chance or bonus attack speed. Now, this is because of how much the Terminator drains both of those. But of course, at the moment, we're not using the Terminator. So, I think we need to buy one of these, if I'm being completely honest. And there we go. We've got our enrichment switched to magic find. So now our base magic find is 131, plus the extra magic find against the ghosts. We're probably up to around about 140. Which is better, but still not great. And of course you've got to bear in mind that we already have Lucky Clover on the pet. Now what I would say is this weapon right here would help us out quite a lot at the moment. But if you watched my dungeon stream, you'll probably know that this is not going to happen anytime soon. I need Kata 36, and I'm not really enjoying dungeons at all at the moment, which is kind of annoying. And to be honest, I really do think Heart of the Mountain 6 is going to come before getting this. So you know what, we're just going to have to roll with it. We're just going to have to see how much money we can make. Okay, so the plan is simple. We're going to go ahead and grind some ghosts for 1 full hour and see how many sorrows we can get and how many coins we can make. Of course, this is not ideal, but I just want to test it. So it's been 1 whole hour and we managed to get 13 sorrows. Now the annoying thing is it's actually more rare to get plasmas. We also got 13 plasmas. So imagine if we got those plasmas but as sorrows. Obviously it is just luck and it probably adds up and it's probably about right. Now at the moment each sorrow is around about 600k per piece. Which means that if we take 13 and times it by 600,000 we get 7.8 million. The Plasma and the Volta could probably fetch us an extra 1 million coins, but I'd say we'll just stick to the price from the Sorrows because these don't really sell too consistently. To be honest, I was kind of expecting to make more like 5 million coins an hour, so 7.8 I'll actually take. It's not amazing, but it's better than I thought. But that goes without saying, I've got about 140 magic find, and even if you had double, the odds are you're going to get a lot more Sorrows and make a lot more coins. And that's what we aim to do going forward. Now, we need to consider how much this setup actually costs us. So the Giant Sword was around about 225 million. The Mithril Golem is around about 6.3. The boots are around about 57 mil. The leggings are about 600k. The chestplate 550k. And the helmet around about 11 mil. Which takes our setup cost to just over 300 million coins. That means that at the moment with this setup it would take us over 38 hours to make our coins back. Which in reality isn't really that bad. Now earlier on I tested out a level 117 Golden Dragon. Now you have to bear in mind that my gold collection is 1.1 million and I did have 1 billion coins in the bank. But when we actually look at it, realistically, if we did get to 10 million gold collection, then we would only gain an extra 2 magic find and 10 strength. Which is achievable in the short term when you think the next upgrade would be 100 million gold collection, only to get 2 extra magic find. At the moment, the damage isn't really an issue, it's more just the magic find. Which is nice, we would get an extra 24, or potentially 26 if we were to get our gold collection up 1 more digit. A shorter term fix to get a little bit more magic find would be a Black Cat, which would give us plus 15 magic find. We could put a Lucky Clover on there as well and get an extra 7. Same goes for the Golden Dragon. But in the grand scheme, it's still not a massive amount. realistically, the armor is a big is a big change that we could make. But then I'd worry to if we could actually then one-hit majority of the time. But if you have any suggestions, please leave them down in the comments. I do need a little bit of help in this subject. I'm not really too knowledgeable. Just trying to find the fine line between being able to one-hit, yet having enough magic find to make it worth doing. And no, next time I'm going to look at your comments and we're going to test out to see if we can change anything that will make it better for us while we progress. Anyway, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.